Hey entrepreneur, that's you. But you're in a cycle of starting, stopping, starting, stopping. And at this point, you're really thinking about just throwing in the towel. You're going to call this whole thing quits. Why? It's not working. And I don't know how to make it work. I don't know how to be consistent. And that's the story you've been telling yourself for a while. And that's why I showed up. It's to help you. I want you to understand this. Sometimes the struggle with consistency isn't your willpower. It's really about who you've been becoming. It's about who you have around you, how clear your strategy is going forward. So in this video, and in the one that comes after, because it's a two-parter, right? In these two parts of this video, I want to help you with your inconsistency. So let's get into it. So there are just some key points I have, and I want you to be able to understand where you really are so that you could go from what? Stuck to unstoppable and profit with peace. This may be your first problem. Your why isn't strong enough. So if your why doesn't make you cry, then the price of commitment will always be too high. My mentor says it best. If your why doesn't make you cry, then the price of commitment will always be too high. So sometimes the reason you're pursuing the business isn't strong enough to keep propelling you forward. That's all it means. Because everybody's going to run into a roadblock at some point. But how are you going to overcome the hurdles and the obstacles? You're going to have something that is beyond that obstacle that you really, 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 really want. So, what's your real why? Does it inspire you? Or does it just sound nice? And are you willing to really pay the price that your goals demand? Like, you know what I'm going to say, right? We keep it all the way real here. What is that why? Are you really willing to pay that price? Because if you're not willing to pay the price, well then call it quits. All right? Just call it quits. Because you don't want to pay the price. How many times have I been in that position, having to say to myself, Janelle, you want something you're not willing to pay the price for. So it's either you decide to pay the price to have the thing, or you never have it. It takes what it takes. Are you willing to give it what it takes? That's it. Number 2, you have no clear strategy. So success isn't about repeating what you already know to do, especially if you know that thing you've been doing is already failing. That is not success. Do you want me to give you what that is? Stupidity. Because you're doing it like that and you keep failing, that's not success. That's stupidity now. So I want you to imagine, right? I'm trying to chop some wood down from a tree, right? And I have the dullest axe to do that. I'm going to have to put so much of my strength to really get that tree, if at all I'm able to cut it. But what if I were to leave that tree alone and I decide I'm going to go and sharpen my axe? And when my axe gets really sharp, I go back to that same tree and with one swing, barely any effort, man, timber, and the tree comes down. And I am asking you, are you sharp enough? Because if you're sharp enough, you don't need that much strength. And I know you're saying, what do you mean by sharp? Like, I kind of get what you're saying, but I also don't get what you're saying. You get sharper by becoming more skillful. That's how you get sharper, by becoming more knowledgeable. Do you know what you don't know? And what are you doing about what you don't know? Because it's time for you to get sharp. Because you're not getting the results because you're not sharp enough to get it. So what is your strategy for reaching your goals? And are you working smart or you're just working hard? Remember the analogy of the axe. If you stay there, you're going to be strength, fail, versus just leaving that tree alone and going back and getting more skilled. And then coming back to chop the tree down. in less time with less force. The third thing is you lack accountability. So accountability is a game changer. How do I know? Accountability helped propel me when I was stuck. So I wasn't stuck doing the work I was supposed to do in my business. And I said to my coach, I said, I'm falling off track. And I told him, I said, okay, we're going to do some emails, right? So I began the emails. And all I needed to do with the daily emails was build the momentum and gain focus. But once I do that, I don't message my coach anymore. Do you know why? Because for that season, I just needed someone to hold me accountable enough. And then when I felt like I could hold myself accountable enough, I kept going on my own, right? So there are three types of accountability. There is personal, that's your own standards. There is interpersonal, like your friends, your family, partnerships. And then there is professional accountability, where you get a coach, or you get a mentor, or you get a therapist, right? Those people could also hold you accountable. But the truth is, when you don't have accountability, consistency is going to slip through your fingers. It's going to slip when you're not accountable. So, who holds you accountable? Who holds you accountable? Who's holding you accountable in this business? And are you really honest with those people that you're holding accountable, that's supposed to hold you accountable, about your real progress and your real problems? Because this is how accountability works, right? Nobody is going to do it for you. So you need to be honest with them about what your real problems are, right? And you need to be honest with them about what your real progress is, right? For that to actually work. The fourth thing, that's the final one for this leg of the video, you're overestimating what you can do. I have been there. So I like to get things done. That's why I'm so good at helping you get stuck to unstoppable, because I know how to get that thing done, right? But let me tell you something. As a person who was an overachiever, I aimed too high too fast, and then I started to burn out. Now, sometimes the key to consistency is to lower the bar to your current level of growth, capacity, and knowledge. And I know you're like, what? Everybody talks about raising the bar. If you're an overachiever, you don't need to raise it. It's already too high. You need to lower the bar to your current level of growth, capacity, and knowledge. So your goals are supposed to be smart, like you. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, right? So I want you to ask yourself, are your goals really realistic right now? Like, are they really? And are you pushing too hard, or are you pacing yourself? Because we need to go at the pace of grace here. Yeah? So if your goals really don't match your current level, your consistency will not last. So I give you 4 reasons in this video why you're struggling, right? Something is wrong with your why. You don't have a clear strategy. Remember the story of the axe, right? You lack accountability, or you're overestimating what you can do. And it's okay to lower the bar when, as an overachiever, you've already raised it too high. So there's a second part of this video, yeah? So I do want you to come back for the second part, because I'm going to help you D.A.R.E. D.A.R.E. Take care of yourself. Like this video, subscribe, come back, watch it again and again. Try to answer the questions, right? I'm giving you the questions because I'm guiding you somewhere. I'm guiding you out of that place where you are stuck. Because we're going from stuck to unstoppable, so you can profit with peace. Take care of yourself.